Zondereigen has been around for a long time, or so legend has it. A fortified farm once stood here on a man-made hill. It was built in the 9th or 10th century by a Norseman, who, having plundered and lain waste to the region with his fellow Norsemen, tired of fighting, mended his ways, and decided to settle here. He married and had children, and built his new home. However, he neither lived long or happily ever after. After killing a local farmer in a fight, he left on a crusade to the Holy Land as penance for his sins, from which he never returned. This meant that his land was now without an owner, in Flemish known as Zondereigenaar. This later became the present-day Zondereigen. Well, that's how the story goes anyway. Although the last remains of the fortified man-made hill were lost forever in the last century, the legend lives on. Realistic 3D animation can help nurture the debate on the future of the site. Is a simple plaque with a brief explanation sufficient? Or perhaps the community would like to see the man-made hill come to life again? Changes demand much from us. We need comprehensive arguments and clarity before we let go of what we are familiar with. Knowing what the plans entail and understanding them is essential to make a well-considered choice. This becomes a lot simpler when there is a lack of ambiguity when the plans are presented. It's also a way of allowing feedback to be more direct and simpler too. That's where the interactive section of the website comes in. Write your comments, add a photo, make your own additions to the plans, or make a choice between a number of possibilities. They are all accessible forms of feedback that add so much more to the usual information and involvement get-togethers. Thanks to the integration of these techniques, tailor-made for the user, the whole community are now able to participate in what is, after all, a communal matter.
So, dear audience in Barreiro, while behind me, Bo and Joyce, and their grandparents, Herman and Renilde, are discovering all possibilities of a new website, I'd like to take the opportunity to put forward some lessons we've learned while developing our website. And as the best lessons are kept short and simple, I'll keep it short and simple myself. If making a clear and precise plan is an art in itself, then we've also learned that it takes different artists with the skills and efforts combined to make a good plan for good communication. I'm simplifying, but you have to imagine this office room with the engineer or spatial planner in it behind a large white sheet, empty sheet of paper. And he's starting a new project. A new spatial plan, a new map. He draws his first line on the plan, a simple black stroke which stands for, let's say, a new road, concrete road, to be used by farmers in Zondereigen. According to us, he shouldn't be alone in that room. Next to him, there should be the graphical designer, who should be thinking about what kind of forms, what kind of colors, what kind of shapes can I use to visualize this new road in the best possible way. Next to the graphical designer, we should have the communication expert, who should be thinking, what kind of words can I use to describe the what, when, where and why of this new road? How can I connect words and images? And next to the communication expert, we should have the GIS specialist, who should be thinking about the added value of adding a third dimension to this flat black line, who should be considering the possibilities of making a geoportal on this project. For the first time in our organization, these specialists combined their efforts and their skills and started to see maps and plans not just as an end product, but more and more as a tool for communication and participation. Because after all, the Flemish PSP project is not just about Zondereigen, it's not just about this interactive website, it's also about the effort of introducing the PSP concept in the organization as a whole, of introducing more research and development, more manpower, investing in hard and software, in coaching, in education. And secondly, but this is more a mental note to ourselves than a lesson, something we should keep in mind the next few years. In the movie, we treated our information paper with a bit of contempt, as the old-fashioned way of communicating, barely good enough for peeling potatoes. This, of course, was being unfair, because after all, some people feel more comfortable with information on paper. Some people have no access to internet, or have no interest in internet. So we still have to take this digital gap into account. It would be unwise to focus exclusively on the website and its techniques. The website can be an appropriate vehicle for communicating and participating on an individual level. But Zondereigen, just like any other hamlet, city or town, is more than the sum of its individuals. Zondereigen is also a rural community with a very active social network. Farmers' organizations, a historical society, and so on. To be effective, this website and its techniques have to be embedded by a mix of other communication tools, such as information leaflets, public hearings, expositions, posters, and so on. In short, have to be supported by a global communication package, with the website and the techniques at its center. With the help of these new techniques and tools, I do not have to appear in every living room in Zondereigen, answering questions, explaining about the land consolidation project.